Michael Vick, the former NFL star, since it's at the top of the news, Ezekiel Elliott for the Dallas Cowboys in a bit of trouble. There have been rumors that he's gonna face suspension, and now there's a story that he knocked out or beat up a DJ at a bar. How concerned should the Cowboys be about Zeke?
I mean, obviously, it should be some concern because Zeke's a young superstar in this league. And at some point, he's going to have to act appropriately. We don't want to see a young talent like him spend a ton of time on the sidelines for, self-inflicted reasons, unnecessary reasons. He has a lot of potential to be the best running back to ever play the game. I know that's saying a lot because there's so many guys that can't come before him. But when you look at the type of talent and the team that he's on and everything surrounding the Dallas Cowboys and now going into the future, he has to grow up fast. He has to become a leader early.
I look at some of these young people, and just like I looked at yourself when you entered the league, the money and the fame sounds like the greatest thing in the world, but it can also be just a huge burden for a young person. There's no way to prepare for that.
It's a gift and a curse in a sense. I mean, you're 21 years old with millions of dollars, and it's hard for people to tell you what to do. Even the guys that they may consider their role models really can't get through to them directly. And these guys got to understand that, they're the future of the National Football League. But the people in the higher power are not going to continue to tolerate the things that happen off the field. And it's such a distraction. It has to be contained. It has to be contained. I know Roger's trying to do everything that he can. But you don't want to see these guys suspended. The fans pay their money to see these kids play. And that's what it's all about. So I say we because, former player, but they have to understand that, look, it's not about me. It's a collective effort. You represent, organization, and you have to represent them well.
You watch the TV show Game of Thrones for any reason?
No, but I've heard about it. I think I'm going to get into
it. So I like to use the analogy. Early on, they had a King Robert Baratheon. And he basically died from excess. His life was so good. Bring me these women. Bring me this food. Bring me this wine. And
that'll kill you.
Yes. And so I look at young people that become famous and become wealthy, and they become little kings. And it's the hardest thing on your ego and on your mind. You almost think of yourself, and I'm just saying it figuratively, you think of yourself as a god. Yeah. Because you have the power with that fame and wealth to make a lot of people happy. Oh, Mom, you want a new house? Got you. Oh, Auntie, you need a new car. You got a nephew, a niece, a cousin that needs their college tuition paid.
Yeah.
You become that provider for everybody, and that does something to your ego. It makes you think you're more than what you are, just an individual person.
And you have the world at the palm of your hands. And you can go anywhere you want to go, buy anything you want to buy. And, that just happens, overnight for some kids. And, yeah, we work hard for it. The fame and the splendor is excellent. That's the reward. But it's still a ton of work that has to be done in between. So you can't just, enjoy your off season. Your off season has to be predicated to, tons of hard work, whether it's you working out, 4 to 5 days a week, working out with your teammates, doing a little off the field work, breaking it up, maybe spending some time with kids. At football camps, you got to find ways to be productive in different settings, and I don't think it's enough of that out there right now. A lot of these guys have to be mentored, and they really have to look up to the guys that came before them in terms of what they're doing. And you still have guys who are doing a remarkable job. I look at Russell Wilson and the things that he's been able to do, in terms of on and off the field. He's a total champion, all the way through.
We're joined by Michael Vick. Mike, during the break, you mentioned the game was too easy for you.
Yeah, it was at times.
And I said I grew up with Jeff George, super talented.
Yeah.
Football,
Strong
baseball, pure.
Smart guy.
Too easy, but it was too easy for him.
Right.
And that's where I think like a guy like Tom Brady, talented but not so overly talented. Sometimes you can have too many gifts, and that's what I thought perhaps was a problem for you, is you had too many gifts.
Yeah. Well, with me, it was, the speed was remarkable. Arm strength, never had a problem with it. Could pick up plays, and the understanding of the game was always there for me. So the game came fairly easy. So it was times where I didn't really know what to work on. It wasn't until I got with Andy Reid where it was multiple formations. It was different concepts, different ways to get the ball into the hands of the receivers and the running backs, and beating the opposition, mentally. So it was a different challenge. So when I went to Philly, it was, a different form of game planning and preparation and study. When I was younger, it was just go out and just run through the defense, run through anybody that steps in front of you, or find a way to make a miss. It wasn't pass protections. It wasn't picking up the blitz. It was early when I had Dan Reeves, and then we kind of sort of got into the Wildcat, and different forms of offenses started to evolve and take over. But at the end of the day, it was all fun. I wish I can go back to that day and time and really do it different. But towards the end, the latter stages of my career made me appreciate, the things I didn't do in the beginning, because I was able to do it at the end.
Cam Newton, a 6'5", 260-pound version of Michael Vick. Do you ever look at Cam Newton and say, damn, he's got the same thing going on, not off the field, but the same thing going on the field as I did?
Yeah, I look at Cam sometime and be like, man, I wish I had his size. Things I would be able to do. I was 6'5", 255, and ran a 4.3 40. That's the key. But yeah, man, Cam is going through a lot. He had the injury this past offseason. I think he had the surgery. A lot of pressure and expectations are going to come down on you going into your 5th, 6th, 7th year. Those are the times when contracts starting to get extended, renegotiations. The team is being built around you, so you really have to, just take advantage of those opportunities. Those years are the most important in terms of the injuries and protecting yourself and the scrutiny. It's not anything any other quarterback hasn't gone through. Cam just has to fight this battle, and nobody else can do it for him. It has to be done by him. So I'm excited to see how he's going to react. This is going to be a great season for a lot of quarterbacks. And, in 2015, Cam played in the Super Bowl. Last year, they didn't make it. So now it's more pressure, more expectation. But he has to accept it, with a grain of salt and continue to push through.
We're joined by Michael Vick. Colin Kaepernick, for a different set of reasons, is having a hard time getting back into the NFL. Yeah. He's got some controversy surrounding him that, has to do with his protest. What do you think about the way the NFL is treating Colin Kaepernick? Some people are saying he's being blackballed. I happen to think that it's about teams wanting their quarterback to be all in.
It has nothing to do with him being blackballed. The gesture that he made, last year when he took the stand to do what he did, listen, we all appreciated it. We respected it. And it was a good thing. It was a good thing. I really think, the stand that he took has nothing to do with him not having a job or playing in the National Football League right now. And being frank, Colin didn't have the best 2 years, his last 2 seasons. I mean, it wasn't as productive as what we've seen him do. And maybe it's due to coaching changes and, musical chairs in the positions around him and the players. But I think, in terms of him getting back out on the field, it's going to have to be a team that can suit to his skill set and what he does.